everyone. It is Rory here at that Eurovision site, and we are continuing on our interviews for Festival da Canção 2023. And in this interview, I'm going to be joined by the amazing MoYah, who will be hoping to represent Portugal with the song Too Much Sauce. Muito bem-vindo a esta entrevista. Tudo bem?
Tudo bem, obrigado. Very impressed with your Portuguese.
Oh, muito obrigado. Estou aprendendo a língua no Duolingo, assim, so, so it's perfect. It's
Muito
perfect.
bom.
So yeah, so you'll be hoping to represent Portugal with the song Too Much Sauce, and you managed to make it into Festival da Canção through the open call with sort of selection. How did that kind of come around? What inspired you to submit a song?
Yeah, so that song was actually submitted by my manager. So I recently I have now representation and management in Portugal, and my manager sent an email with he sent multiple people that he represents, multiple artists. He sent their songs to Festival da Canção, and he received an email saying that they didn't make it through. And but it was kind of a general email. But then me personally, I received a phone call late in the evening, maybe around 8 o'clock in the evening, and I looked at my phone and it was like, oh, this is from Portugal. And I picked it up and someone told me that I had succeeded. So I was just delighted. I didn't even have any words. I didn't know what to say. I didn't know what to feel. But I was super excited and super honored.
Yeah, and it's kind of crazy that like you managed to make it in through kind of, well, not a sense of the technicality, because like when the conflicting reports, but you managed to make it in, so we're happy about for that.
Exactly.
Fantastic,
Yeah.
So yeah, your song Too Much Sauce, I mean, it's in English but it has parts in Portuguese. So I mean, how was that for you to sort of work in between the two languages? I'm assuming, well, I mean, by your English skills, I mean, you're fluent in English, so it's fantastic. So how did it feel sort of working between the two languages?
It was an interesting process because the initial version that I sent to Festival da Canção, the song was longer, and he actually featured another rapper in French. But then the more I thought about it, I was like, you know what? I really want to explore and represent different aspects of my identity, as someone who was born in Mozambique, as someone of Portuguese nationality and who was raised in Portugal, but also someone who, from the age of 10, has been living in UK. So I feel I can articulate myself and express myself a lot clearer actually in English. But then to have a song that would potentially represent Portugal in the Eurovision all in English didn't feel right. So I sat down, and the original version did have a verse, or actually two verses in Portuguese, which I wrote, but it was too long because there's very strict specifications that for the songs that are submitted in terms of the length of the song and a few other things. So we went back to the studio, and myself and another Portuguese writer, we worked on that on the Portuguese version. So he was the main author of that part, and I just translated that, for what you hear today.
Right. Okay, that's really interesting. I like that kind of thing, because I guess sort of listening to the song, you might think, oh, like the lyrics aren't like, they're very like calling like rapper, like kind of proper vibe, but the lyrics are actually a lot deeper in the Portuguese part, isn't there? So yeah, can you sort of tell us a little bit about the sort of depth of those lyrics?
I mean, I think there's like a lot of messages both in the English and the Portuguese. There's people that are like, oh, you've got references to things in different languages, and what does this mean, and what does that mean? And we wrote it, I mean, a few times because we really wanted to capture the essence of what I was saying, and to kind of also blend and enhance what was already being said in English. And there's references to Craveirinha, which is like a Mozambican author, Vasco da Gama, there's a lot of references. So I really wanted to kind of express different aspects of my identity, as I've said earlier on. Yeah.
Wow, yeah, definitely. And I mean, it's really interesting as well, like kind of just listening to that and sort of picking out those like references, like how you were saying. So it's like it isn't just this one song being like, oh yeah, I'm a rapper, all this kind of stuff. There's actually meaning to, which is like fantastic, because I know so many times that so many people don't think that rap actually has like any meaning to it, but actually it is actually the case. There actually is a lot of meaning and depth to this kind of thing. So it's great that you're actually being able to bring that to the table, which is fantastic. And I guess as well, like the song kind of is very it spans genres as well, because it has rap, but it's also sort of Afrobeat. It's sort of like a lot of these kinds of styles. So how do you think sort of, you mentioned as well, sort of, being born in Mozambique, but then sort of growing up in Lisbon as well, but then also living in the UK as well. So like, how do you think all of that has sort of affected you and influenced you as an artist?
I think it has affected me a lot. I feel that true art is like a reflection of who you really are, and it's expressed. A lot of times we might not be able to express ourselves through conversations, but through music we can really open up and display every aspect of our being. Um, and I've often felt misunderstood. Even with this song, it's like it's really interesting to see the comments. A lot of people are like, "Too much sauce. What's he talking about? Ketchup, mayonnaise, olive oil?" But too much sauce, like if you say it's a slang. It's slang. It's a term that you say too much sauce, too much style, but it's
Yeah,
more than it's more. It's too much swagger, too much drip, but it's more than a. On a physical level, I wanted to go a lot deeper because I really wanted to kind of represent all the people that have felt like misfits or outskirts of society that felt misunderstood and felt different. There's people that we know that unfortunately as human beings, even though we have so many similarities, we often focus on the small differences that exist between us, whether it's cultural differences or religion or sexuality or how we view life. And I feel that a vibrant society should reflect all of that. So ultimately, when I'm saying too much sauce, I'm speaking for everybody who's ever felt different. And I'm trying to say, you know what, you've got that beautiful light inside you. Be who you are, embrace your individuality. And that's what it's about, because I have been made to feel like this, just as a refugee who escaped war, who was raised in Portugal. Unfortunately, the Portugal that I was raised in until the age of 10 is a very different Portugal to today, but it was a really impactful Portugal. And when I go back to Portugal, I'm very proud of the Portugal, of the direction of where Portugal is going. And I want us to remember that, but not just for me. And it might maybe people in Portugal view refugees different, but other marginalized and misrepresented communities, they still see them in a different way. But I want to speak for them and make people see, like, look, we are all one. We still bleed the same color blood, and those differences are beautiful, because these are all the differences that make a vibrant, diverse community and society.
yeah, definitely. And I mean, everyone at the moment can sort of sympathize with that kind of thing, of constantly needing to move and around, and like, especially with stuff that's happening in Ukraine, there's loads of refugees kind of coming from there. So like having that sort of representation for that kind of community is entirely like justified. So, fantastic that you're even able to bring just a little bit of representation just to that sort of issue, which is fantastic. So looking things in a Eurovision lens now, I guess, what are your sort of memories of the contest? Because obviously now you've had like a bit of experience in Portugal as well as in the UK, and as we know, the UK is kind of a little bit more maybe stigmatized with Eurovision. So I mean, what are your memories of the contest?
I mean, it's one of those things that growing up, I watched it with my parents, Festival da Canção and Eurovision. But then as I grew older, I didn't see myself in it. So again, representation in terms of musical styles and people who look like, I just didn't see myself. Often when me and my peers, we speak about Eurovision, there's a specific sound and look and feel. And I thought it was really, really important to kind of be present in these spaces, so that there is, even to just inspire other emerging artists, which creating music out of the box that you might not see in Eurovision, but bloody talented, So, and also to break the stereotypes, because as you said, a lot of people feel that hip hop um, doesn't have a positive message, but this is people who don't understand the history of hip hop. If you look at one of the grandfathers of hip hop, Chuck D from a group called Public Enemy, he actually said, we're talking decades and decades ago, one of the grandfathers of hip hop, he said that hip hop is like the CNN, or rap music is like the CNN of the ghetto. So it came to amplify a voice of a marginalized community whose voices weren't being heard. Hence why wherever you go in the world and you see injustices taking place, you see hip hop there. And hip hop is really interesting because it really draws from all these other musical influence, from jazz, from soul, from all of these different things, and it merges it, and then people put some powerful lyrics on top of it. So I understand and I respect and I honor all of those that came before me, and I really wanted to continue that. And I know this might be different from Eurovision, but then it's like, how do you push the boundaries? How do you kind of, do we keep doing the same thing, or do we say no, we're living in a new world which is more diverse and we need more representation from all angles, and let's try and push that and have that reflected in something as big as the Eurovision. But it is an amazing show. It's an amazing opportunity to even to think about potentially being part of it. There's so many artists that have that so many great artists from different parts of the world that have participated, and just to be a part of this whole process, it's just a real honor.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I mean, this is a perfect platform as well for like loads of other people to kind of come across your music, which is fantastic as an artist, like as a new artist as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah. So with that, I guess, Festival da Canção, it's kind of in just over 2 weeks' time. So, you must be swamped with rehearsals and everything like that. So I'm going to be that kind of person. Is there anything from your performance that you're planning that you can kind of give a little bit of a surprise, or is it all completely under wraps?
No, I mean, hopefully, if we deliver it the way we envision it, I think the audience should expect a lot of energy, colors, energy, and a strong message.
Right. Okay. I'm intrigued now. I'm really excited to see what this is going to be like now, because, like you say, like it's pushing the boundaries of Eurovision. So, like, I'm intrigued to see how it's kind of looking to see how it kind of comes out. And I guess if someone listens to Too Much Sauce and thinks, "Oh my God, this is like an absolutely amazing song. I need to check out some more of MoYah's work." What would be one song from the other songs that you've done that you would recommend people to listen to?
That's interesting. I feel like I've actually gone through a name change as an artist, and previously I was on a part of a duo called Native Son, and now I've gone. I'm performing as a solo artist. So I think I would just love if people enjoy and appreciate Too Much Sauce, subscribe to and follow me, because let's go on a journey together. It's about the music that I'm about to release. That's why I'm really excited. I feel like I've been making music for a long time, and the music that I'm making and I'm about to release is some of the best music that I've made. And I'm really excited to just share that with the world.
Oh, I'm intrigued now. I'm excited to see what that is now, because I didn't even know that you were part of the duo now. So that's a whole other like discography now that I'm gonna like listen into now. That's fantastic. So yeah, and I guess just sort of one sort of final message, I guess, but what would be the message that you give to your international fans now? Because you've released your music into a whole new market, so you'll have a whole load of new fans now.
Keep believing in yourself. I never thought as a child, young MoYah never envisioned himself being in this international platform and being where I am and being represented in this format. So never lose faith and keep striving, work extremely hard and believe in yourself, even when if no one does.
Amazing. I mean, that there's some like amazing words to kind of just like live by. So I mean, I'll be taking back that myself like throughout my rest of my life now. So it'll be fantastic. Fantastic. So, muito obrigado e boa
De
sorte no
nada.
semifinal. And it'll be fantastic. I'll be watching, keeping all my fingers crossed. Have you got some social media that we can plug for you whilst we're here?
Thank you so much. And before we go, I also just want to say thank you so much for the opportunity. The community has been amazing and all the support. And yes, you spoke about us as artists being extremely busy with interviews, but it's like people such as yourself that are documenting and covering this. We wouldn't be busy if it wasn't for people like you. And you might not often get that the support or the exposure of being one of those people that's providing the platform. So I just really wanted to sincerely thank you for that as well.
Oh,
Um,
thank you.
you're welcome. The best place to follow me right now will probably be my Instagram, and it's I am MoYah. So it's IAMMOYAH. I am MoYah. Mhm.
Perfect. I will be following, I'll be liking everything in the meantime. As soon as this is over, I'm just going to be like start spamming. So be prepared just for your Instagram to blow up. It'll be perfect. Oh, fantastic. Well, thank you so much. The absolute best of luck in Festival da Canção. I'll be keeping all my fingers crossed for you. And I'm really excited to see what's to come up. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you,
Thank you. Have a
Rory.
great time. See you later. Bye.
Bye bye.